Yeah, greatly apologize for that, folks. Yeah, see that first one just left out. We didn't use an old movie like that. I know some guys they call it the chick flick. Hey, I thought it was all right. They got the best barbecue you ever had. Y'all watch out for that barbecue. And also remember the secrets and the sauce. The secrets and the sauce. Y'all definitely watch out for the ribs. Now, of course, once I come up here to a stop, y'all gonna have to disembark off on Charlie. You have to go to Charlie.
Free agricultural reasons, we want to see what would grow here in this climate. Now, intellectually, we know that South Carolina grows more peaches than we do. But we really do believe our peaches are much sweeter than their peaches. That's why we the peach state and they're not. Now, if you're following along with your map, you'll notice that we're detouring. We're detouring because there's a lot of utility work going on in the city right now. Baby and Jeepers Creepers, just to name a few of them. Which might tie us up today. I should have warned you guys about that. They're filming a movie starring a man named Alan Rickman. I don't know if anybody knows Alan Rickman. Yeah. And Professor Snipes in the Harry Potter movie. He's filming a movie about a nightclub in the 1970s in New York City. How you get Savannah as New York City in the 1970s, I do not know. But it is interesting to see how they actually pull that one off. Now, if you look right here while I'm turning to the left, you're going to see Johnson Square. The monument inside of Johnson Square is to Nathaniel Greene. He was second in command to George Washington during the American Revolutionary War. For his service, he was given a plantation here. It was called Mulberry Road. He was riding his horses on a plantation one day and he died from a heat stroke. Now, Katie, his wife, loved the plantation and she didn't want to leave, but she did want to have educated children. So what she did was, she hired a Yale University graduate to come tutor her kids. That guy was none other than Mr. Eli Whitney, and when he came down, he saw the cotton gin, and the rest is Georgia history. This is Wright Square. Wright Square was named after Sir James Wright. Sir James Wright is the third and final royal governor to the colony of Georgia. The monument inside is to William Washington Gordon, and he was the founder of the Central of Georgia Railroad Station. Excuse me, right again, the left. This is the Independent Presbyterian Church. This was the church that was featured in the Forrest Gump movie. This is where the feather came floating down in the beginning of the movie and floated right down the street and landed in front of us. You'll see it to the left when I turn. This is the Chippewa Square sign. That's where the bench, B-E-N-C-H, was sitting during the filming of Forrest Gump. He said, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. If you look up to the right, you'll see the church's steeple is 215 feet high in the sky. This is Chippewa Square, named for the Battle of Chippewa during the War of 1812. And this is the Barrow House over to the right. The Barrow House has beautiful wrought iron. That fence that's closest to us is called the Fence of Presidents and Poets, because it has images in the medallions of statesmen and poets. Pub, excellent old English style pub.
Okay. It's named the
Right here, ladies and gentlemen, that was featured in Something to Talk About with Julia Roberts and Dennis Quaid. That's where Julia Roberts looked through the window and saw that cheating Dennis Quaid with the other woman. Now, we had a lot of movies made here, and they still making them here. Glory and Bagger Vance was made here. Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, Something to Talk About, The Conspirator, The Last Song, The Perfect Storm. And this was rumored to be an Arabian Princess horse stable. We know for a fact that it was the first Model T Ford showroom in Savannah, Georgia. The statue inside, that's William Jasper. He's the only non-commissioned officer to ever have a statue erected in his honor. And over to the right side of the trolley, the peach-colored house on the corner is the Green Meldrum House. That's where General Sherman had his headquarters during the Civil War. He actually sent a very famous telegram to President Lincoln from that address, giving him the city of Savannah 150 large guns and ammunition, 25,000 bales of cotton as a Christmas present. That was the first recorded incidence of re-gifting in America. Now over to the right, used to be the Scottish Rites Temple. It's now the Griffin Tea Room. Over to the left, this used to be the Savannah Volunteer Guard Armory. It's now shop scads and admissions offices. If you look through the square on the corner, that Gothic style building, that's the Temple Mikveh Israel, the only Gothic style synagogue in the United States. It has the third oldest Jewish congregation in the U.S. On the corner, that's W.B. Hodgson home to William and Margaret Telfair Hodgson. It's now the Georgia Historical Society, the third oldest state historical society in the country. Has over 50,000 transcripts, manuscripts, and artifacts about Georgia history inside. We're going in the Victorian section. That's how come the houses are more neatly designed, decorated, and colorful over here. This is Forsyth Park over here. We're on the western boundary of Forsyth Park. Forsyth Park, named after John Forsyth. Not the one from the Dynasty show, though. This guy was Secretary of State under Andrew Jackson. It's actually 30 acres in length. To the left is the Confederate Soldiers Monument. This monument was commissioned 10 years after the Civil War was over by the widow. If you look over to the right side of the trolley, you will see the old Telfair Hospital. This is one of Mary the Stipulated Telfair's deals. Now this is a senior residence today, but this was the first women's hospital in the region. It had an all-woman board of directors, women doctors and nurses, and only women patients.